Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Monday, August 31st, 2020. I'm so glad that you caught this either live or you came back to revisit and said, "Who is that chick? Let me see what she's talking about." If you are a cross watcher, and if you are a regular, thank you. I appreciate you. It's the support. It's absolutely the support and the anticipation of knowing that there are a couple of folks to talk to that really gets me up to do this weekly rundown joint. I'm so glad that you are here. Nicole Butler is here. Hi, Lee. How are you? Urban Goddess and Samantha is here. D Love Man. What you up to, cutie? Rich Brown Girl is here. Hi, William. Walaikum salam. Nice to see you in the spot. I'm so grateful that, like I said, that you all come back. Thank you for the thumbs up already. I appreciate you. Yo, share this video and others like this, please, so we can get more people in our group to discuss how this wonderful, wonderful modality of Western astrology can help heal our lives, heal our communities, heal our families. At least that's the way I see it. Just to give y'all a quick little update, the book is still coming. I'll be truthful with you. Didn't anticipate this Mars in retrograde that's coming up on September 9th to slow a sister down. Didn't anticipate that there was so many people that were writing books during this quarantine moment and are bombarding Amazon and all kinds of other, book outlets, so to speak, virtual outlets. I'm not giving excuses, but I am telling you that it's coming, and I'm grateful to give it to you. Again, it's called The Sun Sign. Good God. The Sun Sign, an astrological memoir. I really pray that you cop it when it comes through. I will let you know. And that you can share it and buy it for some folks. I think I'm proud of it from a perspective, and I'm going to get going in like about 30 seconds, but I'm proud of it from the perspective in which I'm doing my best to try to show people, again, some of you may have heard this, where astrology is useful or how it is noticed throughout our daily lives. It's just not this far away phenomenon like, oh my gosh, astrology is so up in the sky, as above, so below. It is in the sky, but there's a representation of it here on the planet. And as we look around, even within our personalities, it's within the clothes that we choose. It's in the food that we choose. It's within the places that we live. I mean, it shows up everywhere. So through my stories of my life, through a couple of stories that I've highlighted, a couple of male celebrities that I highlight, I tried to show you, hi Sue, I tried to show you, how the sun sign energy can come up. It's not necessarily a reference book as much as it is just to show you the power of its energy and to let you know a little bit about your girl here through that memoir perspective. I hope you enjoy it, but it's coming soon. Hi, Yuri. Happy belated birthday, I think, a couple of days ago. Oh, sweet lady. I love that picture of you that you put on Facebook. So beautiful. Hi, Yaya. Hi, Phyllis. Hi, my mother is here. Hi, Celeste Samuel. Valerie is here. Sage is here. Okay, let's get started. I don't want to stay on here too long, and I want to do my best to deliver what it is a spirit wants to share with you. Now, I alluded to it on hi Vaughn. I alluded to it, lovely Davis. Oh, I like that. I alluded to it on Instagram just now. Let me pull this down because I feel like I'm stretching my neck. On Instagram just now. But it is a battle between no, let me scratch that. There's no real battle. It's just assessing whether you're going to listen to the mind or listen to the heart. That's why I entitled this, What Comes First, the Chicken or the Age? 33 people. That's a good number. Power number. Oh, 33. That's 33 and ASL. Anyway, it's really not, it's really mainly about how are you going to assert yourself these last little couple of days where action is necessary because, like we talked about last week, Mars is about to go retrograde and we're feeling it already. I don't know if y'all been feeling like technology has been bugging out, or like it feels like Mercury retrograde in the weirdest sense. Like literally, squirrel, I just want to tell y'all what's going on in my life so y'all don't think y'all crazy if the same thing is happening in yours. I'm in my second reading on Saturday and literally the internet just went out. Like there was like 2 or 3 rolling blackouts that day out of nowhere. It was the craziest thing. I'm trying to talk to people, but because I think it's the Mars part, the aggression part that's going retrograde, when I'm talking to people, they're getting pissed off by what they think they hear. I'm like, no, I did not say that. I actually said this. Okay, don't get mad because we changed this or because this is going to happen or this. Wait, hold on. Like there's this aggression that wants to come forward with Mercury, with Mars about to go retrograde on September 9th. We can start to feel it now. This is called the shadow side. So I'm just prepping us. But it's like all this technology, communication thing, aggression thing. So I'm trying to put this book out. I'm realizing there's a couple of hiccups here and there. So I just might hold it, to be quite honest with you, because, energy is not necessarily conducive to it, but it'll get to you. This week, though, check this out. That Mercury piece. This also has to do with why we've been feeling a little bit of Mercury retrograde. This week alone, Mercury is going to be in Virgo. It's going into Libra on Saturday. I'll explain that in a minute. But this Mercury in Virgo this week, check this out. For those who are astrology students or those who know about astrology, I'm just going to list this real quick for you, and then I'll explain in layman's terms for all those that don't know. Mercury will trine Pluto tomorrow. Mercury will trine Saturn on Thursday. Mercury will quincunx Mars on Friday. Mercury will sextile Venus on Friday. And then it goes into Libra on Saturday. That's 4 major aspects. Aspects being relationships, squares and quincunx and semi-sextiles and sextiles. Those are relationships, aspects, right? That's 4 little aspects tripped up. 3 are harmonious. 1 is a little irritating. But here's the deal about that. The change about that in the midst of the brain, Mercury, communication, how we process information, going through favorable and almost not so favorable changes this week is actually pinging. I'm adding one more layer to this, pinging off of that full moon in Pisces. Boom. So look, in layman's terms, when Mercury is being aspect, that means we are paying attention to the brain and the intellect and the way that we think and the way we process information. And here's the deal. Because it's in Virgo, it might come off very detailed. It might come off very discriminating, very critical. It definitely wants to serve people, but it's so right and exact and almost argumentative. Virgo energy loves to argue. Virgo energy loves to prove a point. When it's in Mercury, it can kind of feel like it's spinning out in a sense that it wants to prove its point according to the way that it feels. Boom. I'm getting down to the mind, to the really minute point here. I said all of that to say is that this Mercury in Virgo is going to try to prove you right. You want to prove you right, that you want to prove the universe right in your thoughts and in your process and your organization. It is high, come hella high water. We're going to do our best to prove ourselves intellectually correct, that we are logical, that we are rational, and that everything we've been doing for the last 2 weeks will prove to be right because we've done our research, we've done our homework, and it seems rational to us. Okay, to a lot of you, you're like, all right, well, cool. That sounds like a positive thing to me. Absolutely, everything is positive in its own way. But here's the deal. Here comes the full moon, which is a swell of emotional energy and the opposite sign of all that intellectual prowess that you may be feeling and or pride that you may be feeling in regards to how you're thinking. That's the interesting part. That is absolutely the interesting part. I hope y'all understand this. Yes, yes, y'all, to the beat. Listen, what's so interesting about that is the full moon in Pisces. Y'all do know Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, the last energy, the last constellation. Who's the oldest, the wisest, the more psychic, the more intuitive? That's why I said in the title, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Your thoughts or your connection to spirit. What's rambling in your brain about the things that you need to do and complete before Mars goes retrograde, the ramble in your brain about what's perfect and what's rational in your world, or opening up, closing your eyes, and allowing spirit to tell you and giving you a flush of that Piscean emotion that can actually prove to be better than the way you're thinking. I just said a lot. I just said a lot. And I probably lost like about 3 of you. And it's okay. Or maybe a little bit more. But it's okay. Rewind the tape selector and understand that all of this makes sense in some kind of way if you are aware. If you pay attention. Awareness is key. Now, to talk a little shit about that Virgo energy, when it's in Mercury, it's less aware and more looking for the exact. The full moon in Pisces wants to be aware, but it can only be aware. It can only allow situations to go on around it, i.e. the situation that we're in and we have been in for the last couple of months, but let's just say all the racial injustice or whatever the case may be. Pisces full moon says the only way you can get spirit's voice is that you have to allow your emotions to feel through it. Okay. And that's a real deal. You know why? Because some people want to stop themselves from feeling in order to move on something because their mind will take them exactly where they think they should be, the chicken or the egg. It's not like one makes you better than the other. Your brain, Mercury, or your full swell of emotions on the most intuitive and wise level ever in Pisces. It's not one that's bigger than the other. It's how you're going to utilize it. I hope this makes sense. I hope this really makes sense. Let me go back. I posted something a while back, a couple of days ago. And then what was so interesting about it, and I'm talking about allowing emotions to come through. What was so interesting about it is that I read some comments, and this is not to dig anybody, but what I noticed was what I'm talking about. That's why I'm using it as an example. That folks who are really smart and very intellectual in their own space, and they have figured it out. They have figured out what this time is all about. They're the ones, in my opinion, that are overthinking this process and they're stuffing their emotions. Does that make sense to you? We have to feel everything that we can feel. Because this full moon swell is in Pisces, again, like I alluded to, if you feel whatever you need to feel, it'll allow you to flush through, push through, and make it neutral again within yourself. I'm losing you. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. When these people were posting these things, right? And I said, okay, so you're super duper smart, and we're going to utilize the intellect to bypass your emotion. You're saying you're not pissed off about what's going on in this injustice, racial situation that we have that's creaming to the top and is going to blow really, really soon, right? You just want to think yourself through this. However, what's wrong with feeling through it is my point. If we don't give ourselves permission to feel through whatever layer we are at in the safest way possible, literally, the brain will explode. Literally, your heart will catch a fire. Literally, you won't be able to move. We have to feel it through, y'all. Pisces, full moon swell says, feel everything you need to feel, expel that shit, get rid of it, and keep moving the best way you know how. Otherwise, you'll get tripped up in your brain and allow all this Mercury information that's happening this week to make you feel so critical and so decisive in certain ways that you'll be fact checking your own fact checking as they're fact checking you, which also oftentimes will leave you in a crazy, strange entanglement of who's smarter, you or the next person. Who's first, the chicken or the egg? Should I feel this or should I think this? Should I plan this or should I move this? You see the confusion that I'm trying to show for y'all? Yes, y'all. Does this make sense to y'all? Phyllis said, I got it. Okay. Yes, like a purge blocking the intellect. You have to. Thank you. Oh, you got that. Sometimes I have a roundabout way of explaining things because that's just the way my brain has to empty things out. But if you've been rolling with us long enough, you kind of know the roundabout way in which I get to things, right? Because I want to make it visible and imaginable and understandable on every level. People catch it on different levels. You did? Tension said, I don't have the luxury of not feeling. My issue comes to my issue comes to play in making sure I don't get stuck in the emotional. Yes. And that's when the water just keeps on going. Yes. But again, this week is about flushing that out, Tension, keeping it going, and don't allow the brain to overtake what it is that we feel. That's the part of it, especially before Mars goes retrograde on the 9th up until November 3rd. We talked about that last week, and I want y'all to tune into that video because it was pretty powerful, I think. Just continue to flesh out tension, and for all those people that are emotional in that way, because the brain, like I said, is going to try to trip you up this week to not do that. Hear what I'm saying? But we have to. This is a full moon swell. We have to let it go. This is the depths. When you let go in a full moon in Pisces, you're letting go for not only you, you're letting go for your ancestors and generations before you. We are responsible for each other. We are responsible for our entire ancestral realm. Like they help us and we help them. Full moon in Pisces says, dip into your bag and pull out all the things that you need to do to assist your grandmother. Talk to your grandmother. Tell her, what are the things I need to do? Ask her, what are the things I need to do within this week, that full moon swell, that can help me to heal my children, that can release guilt off of my children. So I'm not thinking in the perfect way. Mercury and Virgo is dope, organization and all of that. But when you get too perfect, it becomes a problem. And then that battles the brain. That battles the heart. That battles what you're feeling. You understand what I'm saying? What do you need to heal up? Full moon in Pisces? Come on. For your children, for your mother, for your father. Who do you need to forgive? Where's the unconditional love coming? So the brain is not overactive. Do y'all get this? I hope so. Because before you know it, that Mercury situation will change vibrations on Saturday. It goes into Libra. And then it becomes not only what is right, Mercury and Virgo, what's perfect, what's organized, what we need to be critical about, but it becomes about what I'm gonna do for my partner, what I'm gonna do for my business partner, my husband, my wife, what I'm gonna do for justice, right? Which is an awesome thought. But if you can't get the connection between you and spirit this week in regards to that full moon swell in Pisces, and then the brain going, yeah, I get that. Let me facilitate what I need to do based on the hits that I get, the intuitive hits that I get, that when Mercury goes into Libra, you won't know how to assist, think for, help to plan for your partner. I'm not saying it's a crash course and you got to get it in a couple of days. I'm saying be aware. Be aware of the information that's coming through that you're thinking about, and do not let it supersede the spiritual understanding that's coming through as well. It's a double-sided sword in the best way possible. Don't trip up. Ooh, I hope y'all get this. Again, I'm a little wordy at times and I lose people, not intentionally. But there's a nice little tripped up battle that's happening. And again, when that Mercury turns into Libra, how can you service them if you don't have your shit together? When you're not organized in your thought, and when you're not given the right power to whatever it is that comes through. God says, I'm gonna give you the hit, then I want you to figure it out. Don't figure it out before you get the hit. The hit is full moon in Pisces. Your brain is utilizing this Mercury and Virgo to try to figure that thing out. You get that? Yo, please do. On Sunday, Venus goes into Leo. That's an interesting thing, in a sense, combined with the fact that Mars is backing up in Aries. Venus is desire, is love, is money. Leo is extremely generous. Venus is self-worth too. So when Venus goes into Leo, it comes up out of that Virgo thing. Out of that Cancer thing. It's no longer this nurturing mother energy that's on the planet right now. It's about giving. It's about being courageous. It's about being willful. It's about being extremely generous of the heart and of the soul and of desires and what we need to do. But to me, in my mind, I go, oh, okay, so if that Venus desire is what's speaking to Mars, that's how it happens in astrology. Venus is a desire. Mars says, all right, honey, I'll go and get whatever it is that you desire. But listen, we need to be clear about what we're getting. We need to be clear about the hits that are coming through, the chicken or the egg, settling with spirit first and foremost, using it as a priority. And then when that Mercury goes into Libra, it's like, okay, now how do I assimilate this with my partners? And then fourthly, maybe, I think it's fourth, third or fourth. And then when the Venus goes into Leo for a little while, then you know how to give. You know how to give generously. You know how to give in a way that's slightly discerning too. How about that? Because we don't have a lot in this moment in time. This is not a necessarily abundant moment when it comes to material things. We're abundant when it comes to our heart and our soul and the things that are a priority and the people and the situations that we have to nurture. But we have to be a little frugal too. So with Venus and Leo and us giving a lot, we have to know what to give if we're organized this week, if we utilize spirit. Do y'all see how I like to use astrology? One thing after another helps the next thing after the other helps the next thing after the other. Understand the build up and then the fall away from each little energy wave that comes in. Y'all need me to repeat that? Anybody? Y'all all good? Oh, Alicia Jackson, you're so welcome. And thank you for sharing so much. Alicia Jackson, I appreciate you. I've been watching you, young lady. I love that you share mostly all of my videos and information. To be truthful with you, one or two people may not get it, but maybe 10 or 12 will. And we're going to speak to the 10 or 12. The one or two, they can get information from someplace else, It's all good. Somebody has a voice that you can hear. And I'm just grateful and honored to be that voice for y'all. If you have any questions, put it down because I said this kind of fast. I was drinking a little bit of chai tea. Y'all know when I get some chai tea or some orange juice in the system, I be speeding. Shut up, boom, boom. Thank you. And then I'm done. So if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the goddamn comment because your girl be off to Trader Joe's doing something different. On to the next. Y'all get it though? Y'all get it though? Eyebrow, exclamation. Yo, pay attention to the way you're thinking. The way you're thinking is going to lead to how you open up. How you open up is going to lead to what spirit is telling you. When spirit tells you through this full moon, okay, maybe that's right, or maybe this right. Maybe we need to process this different. We need to think about this a little bit differently. Okay, spirit, I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling with the full moon. I'm rolling with the emotion. I'm getting the emotion through so I can think clearly. Makes sense? This week. I'm moving the emotions through so I can think clearly. Do what you have to do, y'all. Do what you have to do. Swim, jog. I don't care what you do in order to release the emotion. I, for one, I'm heavy with the emotion too. Truthfully. But we have to keep swimming through it. Figuratively or literally. I try to do my laps. We have to pull through it so we can think, so we can get on board. Especially this last week with Mercury being in Virgo, like I'm reiterating. And then we can go in and think for each other when it goes into Libra and when we have this justice on our mind and we want to help to change laws and shit like that and keep staying on the front line and partner up with people who we know that can help and change situations and change the course. When Mercury is in Libra, starting in on Saturday at 3:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When Mercury goes into Libra, then it is about coming together, mainly, right? It is about the community. It's about thinking, about planning with someone else, partnering up. Okay, justice, win-win, being fair. You know what I'm saying? Using your charm, using the dignity that you have, getting in where you fit in so you can make some change. Be that spook who sat by the door. Figure it out. Get on in there and then call people out on their truth and on their lack of justice. This makes sense? I'm out of here. You're so welcome. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all so very much. We have a lot to do. And hopefully these little videos coming in and out will help you to figure that thing out for yourself and for your family and for each other. Because I'm going to end with this. None of this is going to matter as far as the changes that are happening in society. None of it matters if you don't change yourself. None of it matters. You can keep blaming and calling people on this particular policy, on this particular law, on what this person did in your building, and what this man did to you 10 years ago, and what she did to you last week. You can keep calling on people. But if you're not actively changing how you think and how you feel, how you respond, how you heal, then you are making yourself the problem. It's almost like you're the dirty person that keeps getting in the pool after we done cleaned the pool out. You want everybody looking at you? I'm just saying. Not to say that you care, but eventually you will, truthfully, because everybody is on the healing spree. We all know on some level or another that we got to get this thing off of us. We're looking at us. This is a reflection. Yo, when you really break it down, and this is not something I was going to talk about, but fuck it. When you really, really break it down, what's happening in society, truthfully, is a reflection of all of us. Yeah, I mean, we could break it up to white supremacists. We can break them up to this, and the injustice in the systems and systemic racism and blah, 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 blah. Like, we can really break it down and break it up. But it's all a reflection of what it is that we need to do for ourselves too. There were times when black and brown people, we fought, but there were times we gave up too. There were times in which we were hell-bent on making things happen. And then there was times we checked out and we let the babies grow themselves. We let drugs take over. We slipped in. We slipped up. I'm just saying not all of us. And I'm not saying it's our fault. I'm not putting fault or blame on nothing or anybody. What I'm saying is that we have to change. We have to change in order for our surroundings to change. And it's a long, arduous process. If you give up on you, then you're giving up on all of us. You're talking about some Mercury and Libra shit? That's the slogan right there. Mercury and Libra says, don't give up on you. You giving up on me. We're about to snap into that vibration. Understand where that comes from. It's that karma, right? I hope y'all understand this. Why I got to bring the 90s up? For it's stupid. Because the 90s is, it was really the 80s. It was the 80s in it. Oh, look, this is going to be a long-ass broadcast if I start talking about what I think about the 80s and the 90s. But yeah, we slept a couple times. It's all right. Maybe we was tired. I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's wrong or right. Check yourself. And within these rundowns and me giving you information, look at yourself first before we start looking at everybody else. That's how we heal. Okay, the doggy said stop. We're going to stop. I love y'all. Take care. Hey, Asa, what's going on? Laura Howard. Oh, we did fall for the okie doke for a quick minute, and we still do. Y'all notice that, right? We still falling for the okie doke. God damn, I don't want this to be that long. We still falling for the okie doke on so many different levels. I can preach. Y'all know I can preach. I'm not even going to go there. But we got to stop it. We got to become a little bit more aware. Okay? All right. I don't want to fight the dog and the whole thing. Lead with that heart, Nick. Lead with the heart. Okay. Gotta go. The dogs are about to fight. Take care.